Good evening. I was told by our sound expert back there that when I started talking, if my sound wasn't on, then just keep saying good evening until I could hear myself. So I think we're doing pretty well. Good evening. I am Senior Pastor Leslie Wood, and somewhere back there is our associate. There's Lee. She's waving from the back. Our Associate Pastor, Reverend Lee Anderson Harris, and we are, gosh, I'm overwhelmed. Look at all the faces here this evening. What a blessing. So we are so delighted. Lee and I, on behalf of Dr. Chris White and our choir and our orchestra, we want to welcome you. Whether you're here in this sanctuary or worshiping with us online tonight at this Maundy, Thursday service, we are just so glad that you are here, and I know that you are going to be blessed by this evening. I want to just invite you to use your programs. It's a source of information more than just what scores are about to be played, but a little bit about the piece. The chancel choir and the orchestra will be presenting for you Theodore Dubois' The 7 Last Words of Christ from the Cross. I know that you will be blessed. So I want to take this moment to thank Chris White for making this evening happen. It has been a blessing to me as the pastor of this church to know that this evening was in good hands. And I thank him for his expertise, but I thank him most of all for his love of Christ. And his love of music that is his expression of prayer and reverence and honor for Christ. So thank you, Chris, for that. I also want to thank the members and guests of our chancel choir who, through weird cold weather and all sorts of other things, have been flexible in when they rehearse and have put many, many hours into making this evening happen. I want to give special recognition for our soloist this evening, Brian Kettlewell, who will be singing the part of Jesus. Let's see, John Morgan singing the part of John, the beloved disciple, John the Apostle. Sarah Clegern, who is singing the part of Mary Magdalene, and Ben Clegern, who is singing the part of the thief. And don't let that make you think that means that fits Ben's personality, because it doesn't. He just plays the part tonight. So I also want to thank our organist, Catherine Pfeiffer, and the members of our orchestra this evening who will enrich our immersion into the story tonight with their musical gifts and accompaniment. Before we begin, I just want to remind you all that we are still tonight waiting for Easter. The story we enter tonight is a sobering one, but it is a deeply significant one, because without the crucifixion, there would be no Easter. Death is necessary before new life can begin. So this is a night of deep reflection. Our director and our musicians have asked me to ask you, and I'm going to do this right now. You applaud, just a second. Applaud now, because Chris and the musicians have asked me to ask you to hold your applause during the performance, because this is a time of deep reflection. By your presence here tonight, they know that they have your support, and they know how much you appreciate the gift that they are giving. That doesn't mean that you can't give them your appreciation. At the end of the performance tonight, the choir and the orchestra will be in Coy Hall. It's our fellowship hall that's just out these rear doors of the sanctuary and across the little hallway there. Feel free to go in and meet and greet and express your appreciation personally to them at that time. But during the performance, as we start here, we will stay in a time of silence and reflection, including as we leave the sanctuary this evening. But then we get to Sunday morning, we get to Easter morning. So I want to personally extend to you an invitation as we get through this night to come and join us on Sunday morning as we celebrate with joy and celebration our risen Christ together. We have a service at 8:30 and a service at 11, and we will have the bells and special music and dancing and the bells at the first service. And if you haven't heard our bell choir at First Church, you will be amazed. So it's worth coming. And the second service, we will have a brass quartet, and you don't want to miss that. We have some really strong brass players that will be here that morning. So that's the 11 o'clock service. Now, as one of my former pastors used to say, and actually it was one of the people who go to this church, it was one of your former pastors who used to say this too, because she was my pastor too. It is time to take off our 21st century glasses and put on our first century glasses and step into a story of our faith. And it begins in a garden. Let us hear the story of our faith. They went to a place called Gethsemane, and Jesus said to his disciples, "Sit here while I go and pray." He took Peter, James, and John along with him, and he began to be deeply distressed and troubled. "My soul is overwhelmed with sorrow to the point of death," he said to them. "Stay here and keep watch." Going a little further, he fell to the ground and prayed that if possible, the hour might pass from him. "Abba, Father," he said, "everything is possible for you. Take this cup from me. Yet not what I will, but what you will." Then he returned to his disciples and found them sleeping. "Simon," he said to Peter, "are you asleep? Couldn't you keep watch for 1 hour? Watch and pray so that you will not fall into temptation. The spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak." Once more he went away and prayed the same thing. When he came back, he again found them sleeping because their eyes were heavy. They did not know what to say to him. Returning the third time, he said to them, "Are you still sleeping and resting? Enough. The hour has come. Look, the Son of Man is delivered into the hands of sinners. Rise, let us go. Here comes my betrayer." While he was still speaking, a crowd came up, and the man who was called Judas, one of the 12, was leading them. He approached Jesus to kiss him, but Jesus asked him, "Judas, are you betraying the Son of Man with a kiss?" When Jesus' followers saw what was going to happen, they said, "Lord, should we strike with our swords?" And one of them struck the servant of the high priest, cutting off his ear. But Jesus answered, "No more of this." And he touched the man's ear, and he healed him. Then Jesus said to the chief priests, the officers of the temple guard, and the elders who had come for him, "Am I leading a rebellion, that you have come with swords and clubs? Every day I was with you in the temple courts, and you did not lay a hand on me. But this is your hour, when darkness reigns." Those who had arrested Jesus took him to Caiaphas, the high priest, where the teachers of the law and the elders had assembled. The chief priests and the whole Sanhedrin were looking for false evidence against Jesus so that they could put him to death. But they did not find any, though many false witnesses came forward. Finally, 2 came forward and declared, "This fellow said, 'I am able to destroy the temple of God and rebuild it in 3 days.'" Then the high priest stood up and said to Jesus, "Are you not going to answer? What is this testimony that these men are bringing against you?" But Jesus remained silent. The high priest said to him, "I charge you under oath by the living God. Tell us if you are the Messiah, the Son of God." "You have said so," Jesus replied. "But I say to all of you, from now on you will see the Son of Man sitting on the right hand of the Mighty One and coming on the clouds of heaven." Then the high priest tore his clothes and said, "He has spoken blasphemy. Why do we need any more witnesses? Look, now you have heard the blasphemy. What do you think?" "He is worthy of death," they answered. Then they spit in his face, struck him with their fists. Others slapped him and said, "Prophesy to us, Messiah. Who hit you?" When Jesus stood before the governor asked him, "Are you the King of the Jews?" "You have said so," Jesus replied. When he was accused by the chief priests and the elders, he gave no answer. Then Pilate asked him, "Don't you hear the testimony that they're bringing against you?" But Jesus again made no reply, not even to a single charge, to the great amazement of the governor. Now it was the governor's custom at the festival to release a prisoner chosen by the crowd. At that time, they had a well-known prisoner whose name was Jesus Barabbas. So when the crowd had gathered, Pilate asked them, "Which one do you want me to release to you, Jesus Barabbas or Jesus, who is called the Messiah?" For he knew it was out of self-interest that they had handed Jesus over to him. While Pilate was sitting on the judge's seat, his wife sent him a message, "Don't have anything to do with that innocent man, for I have suffered a great deal today in a dream because of him." But the chief priests and the elders, they persuaded the crowd to ask for Barabbas and to have Jesus executed. "Which of the two do you want me to release to you?" asked the governor. "Barabbas," they answered. "What shall I do then with Jesus, who is called the Messiah?" Pilate asked. They all answered, "Crucify him." "Why? What crime has he committed?" asked Pilate. But they all shouted all the louder, "Crucify him." When Pilate saw that he was getting nowhere, but that instead an uproar was starting, he took water and he washed his hands in front of the crowd. "I am innocent of this man's blood," he said. "It is your responsibility." All the people answered, "His blood is on us and on our children." Then he released Barabbas to them. But he had Jesus flogged and handed him over to be crucified. Then the governor's soldiers took Jesus into the praetorium and gathered the whole company of soldiers around him. They stripped him and put a scarlet robe on him, and then twisted together a crown of thorns and set it on his head. They put a staff in his right hand, then they knelt in front of him and mocked him. "Hail, King of the Jews," they said. They spit on him and took the staff and struck him on the head again and again. After they had mocked him, they took off the robe and put his own clothes on him. Then they led him away to crucify him.
Verily, thou shalt be in paradise today with me. Verily, thou shalt be in paradise today paradise today. Verily, verily, thou shalt be with me today in paradise. Verily, verily, thou shalt be with me today in paradise. See, O woman, see, O woman, here behold, here behold, thy son beloved. Behold, O woman, thy son beloved. God, my Father, God, my Father, oh, why hast thou forsaken me? God, my Father, God, my Father, oh, why hast thou forsaken me? All those who were my friends, all have now forsaken me. All those who were my friends, all have now forsaken me. And they that hate me do now prevail against me. And they that hate me do now prevail against me. And he whom I have cherished, he hath betrayed me. God, my Father, God, my Father, oh, why hast thou forsaken me? Even the vine that I have chosen, and that I have planted. Wherefore art thou now so strangely turned into bitterness, that I by thee am crucified? That I by thee am crucified. crucified, that I by thee am crucified. God, my Father, God, my Father, oh, why hast thou forsaken me? God, my Father, God, my Father, oh, why hast thou forsaken me? Oh, why hast thou forsaken me? I am athirst.
And the people passing by him all did rail upon him, and wagging their heads at him, they said unto him,
Father, into thy hands I now command. I command my soul. Father, into thy hands I now command. I command my soul. For thou art my God, art my God, and my Father. For thou art my God, art my God, and my Father. Father, into thy hands I now command. I command my soul into thy hands. I command my soul, my God and Father, my Father, my God and Father.
And with a loud voice, Jesus cried, exclaiming,
It is finished.
and he did bow his head, and rendered
And it was about the 6th hour, and the sun was darkened, and darkness covered the earth, until about the 9th hour. And the veil of the temple was rent, and all the earth did quake, and the rocks were rent, and all the graves were open wide.
us be mindful of it, so that when we celebrate Easter with the joyous celebration, that we come from the very depths of our emotion to the very heights of joy. In His name we pray. Thank you. Please go in peace and silence.